All right, you guys, welcome to Friday's advanced market training. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you guys can look at these financial needs assessment forms. What I want you guys to do is either take a screenshot, take notes. If you can fill out your own financial needs assessment form, that would be awesome. So go ahead and start. Can you all see the screen, by the way? No. Let me go ahead and share it. Miss Patty, how are you? All right, can everybody see
Good
this
morning.
clearly? Hey,
How are you?
fantastic,
How are
lady.
you doing?
Fantastic.
I said good. How are you doing?
Wonderful.
Good.
All right, so let's start taking notes, you guys. Come on, so we can do this fast and we don't.
On, you're cutting out a little bit. Let me see. Hold on one second. Let me switch my internet real quick.
Okay, go ahead and mute yourself, you guys, and start taking notes of this. Okay, so I'm going to go over it real quick. So we've got a single parent here. Nurse Sally from California. Her date of birth is 12/27/1992. She's a single parent. Okay, she is a nurse. And she's been with her company for 5 years with her hospital. She currently has a 401k with a $70,000 account value in it. She gets a 6% match. She's got an IUL for $200,000. She's got about $12,000 in cash value in that, and her monthly premium is $400. Okay. Then as far as her home, the value is about $400,000, and the balance currently is $350,000. Okay, so she's got that to pay off. Then she's 5'1", 115 pounds. She's got asthma. She requires an inhaler. Well, not requires, but she is prescribed an inhaler as needed, rather. And then her income is $138,000 annually. Okay, her fixed monthly costs are $500 for her car, $2,200 for her mortgage. She pays $800 in daycare for her 3-year-old. Her student loans are $1,000 a month, which she does overpay $200 into that every single month. Okay, keep that in mind. Make sure you put that in your notes. And she's got a credit card debt, and she pays $800 into that. And then for herself, other stuff, miscellaneous, an additional $500. Okay, her retirement goal obviously is 65, kind of like most Americans. And then she wants to get something set up. Her goals are to fund her daughter's education in the future. Her daughter is currently 3 years old, like I said. She wants to start planning for retirement. She wants to pay off her student loans and, at some point pay off the rest of her debt, like her mortgage and credit cards and so on and so forth. Okay. So does everybody have all these notes? Everybody give me a thumbs up. Yes. So I know, so I can clear this. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and go back to, let's see. We're going to go ahead and get started on her illustration. All right, and everybody let me know if y'all can see the screen now. Everybody good? Perfect. Awesome. All right, so from looking at this, let me go to her case. That would be helpful. Oh, this is her case already. My bad. Okay. So based on her case, what do you guys think we should do? Does she make enough money to fund what she wants to do for her goals, to fund her daughter's education, to pay off some of her debt and start planning for retirement? Tony, what would you do?
Yeah, she does. I mean, her budget is at 500, so let's start there. I honestly think we can go between 500 to 800 or 500 to 1,000.
Her
So
budget's 1,500.
oh, let me see. Oh, 1,500. Okay. I'm
Yeah,
thinking a dollar sign with the two slide or
1,500.
15. Yeah, she has enough, most definitely.
Got it. So when she came to me, she did say that she wanted to utilize what she had in her 401k to start overfunding. Okay. So we got to keep that in mind. Now, having said that, how old is she if she was born on this date? So she's what, 32 years old?
No, she should be
Yeah,
yeah, 32. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 32 years
31,
old, 31.
almost 32.
Almost.
Yeah.
So remember, she's a single parent, so all this is on her. She's got to take care of all this, make sure that baby is, that she's funding that for her little girl. And again, she did come to me and say, what can I do with what I have in my 401k? Because, right now she feels like she's losing money with the way the economy is. That's fair. That's a fair, concern to have as a parent, I feel. And as a person, that wants to retire at 65, she's got a long way ahead. But her main goal, remember, if we look at her goals, is to fund her daughter's education. She doesn't want to worry about her daughter having student loans like she did. So that's going to be pretty much our first and foremost, goal. Okay, when we illustrate this, obviously, of course, we want to tackle her debt, which is not a lot. I mean, she's got 16,000 in student loans, 3,000 in credit card debt. If we look at the very bottom of the sheet that I provided. And then, of course, obviously, at the very end, we want to pay off a $350,000 amount that she has. Now, remember, she does have an IUL as well with a $12,000 cash value amount currently. Okay. And she's paying $400 into that. So here's my thought. I'm going to go ahead and start with the premium that she told me that she wanted to use, okay? So because she told me she had $1,500 available to use, I'm going to take that into consideration, okay? So can anybody tell me if a 6% contra or match rather is decent for a 401k?
No.
Why not?
Well, first of all, we don't even know how long she's been doing this for. So obviously it looked like she's probably been doing it for maybe 6 years, and we're not sure about her contribution. So
Right.
that's why I said no.
Okay. So she's been with the company for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So she's accumulated 70 grand in the 5 years with that company specifically.
Oh, see, I didn't know if it was just specifically that company or it was also a rollover total. You know what I mean?
Yeah, makes sense. So to me, that's decent. I wouldn't say it's the best at
Okay.
all. It's not bad, but it's not, what it could be, in my opinion. Now her salary is $138,000. Can somebody tell me what she makes every month?
11,500.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so if she has 11,500, and then what is the total of her fixed monthly costs?
5,800.
Okay. So that leaves her with $5,700 every single month. Right, to utilize for whatever she wants. So I would say $1,500 is more than fair, right? It's a big goal. I mean, it's a big amount, but it's doable. It's doable with her budget. I mean, she takes care of all her bills, good credit. I'm not concerned. So let's see what we can do with that $1,500 first and foremost. Okay, so that's gonna be her monthly amount. Okay. And then, of course, we always add PUAs to a policy unless they have a very, very small and strict budget. Okay. So PUAs right there. And the reason I choose, just so you guys know, the STP is because it's going to show faster performance. Okay. So it's going to be scheduled. Now, do you guys think we should take from her premium here, or should we utilize some of the money that she's currently paying?
Utilize.
Bingo.
I think for sure the IUL may be a rollover and utilize that money.
Okay. Good. So we can utilize, let's see, how much does she have in her IUL? She's got 12,000 in cash value, and she's paying 400 into the IUL. So let's just say we rolled over the IUL. Because I feel like it should have performed a little bit better. We don't know how long she's had it. This is all the information we have, okay? So let's just say hypothetically, we make that decision. So does anybody know what the surrender value is for an IUL?
I've asked before in regards to kind of like an FIA when they tell you 9% for each year, 8%, 7%. I've asked an F&G in regards to the IUL surrender charge, and they don't even have a schedule that they were able to provide.
Exactly. So they never tell you. What I've seen, you guys, is if you've had it for less than 10 years, without a doubt, you're probably going to have to surrender about 40%. Okay.
Damn.
Of what you currently have an accumulated cash value. That is a lot. That's just something to take into consideration, because if you want to roll over a client, you're going to have to tell them that there will be a significant surrender value. So the cash value they see is not what they can roll out. Okay. So having said that, if she's got $12,000, what's $12,000 minus 40%?
7,200.
So we're going to do a 7,200 lump sum amount, a pour-in of 7,200. Okay. And because we're rolling it out, obviously she no longer wants it, right? We're going to utilize it to overfund this. We're going to utilize the $400 that she was currently paying towards the IUL, because she has the budget. Remember, if it was somebody that was really tight on money, then we would just utilize what she's paying into the IUL currently to do a premium, to fund the premium for this product. But because it's additional money, we're going to do an additional $400 monthly that would have been paid into the IUL that is no longer going to be paid into the IUL. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mhm.
Okay, so it's going to be a one-time lump sum amount of 7,200. And then we're going to do $400 monthly, and then she's going to have a premium of 1,500. Okay, let's go to riders. Let's dump in all those free riders that she gets with this type of product. So she does get a free enhanced accidental death benefit rider. Okay, and then of course we always do 100% index allocation in the event that it performs awesome. She gets additional money on top of her dividend interest and her whole life interest. So now let's calculate and see what that looks like. Let's see if it works. Maybe we dumped in too much money. So perfect. Okay, so if it's telling me it makes in 48 years, that's a long time from now. So I'm happy with that. So remember, her budget was 1,500, but because we added that $400 that she would have been paying into the IUL, we have a little bit more to work with. So if you look at this bottom number, that's exactly what it is. You look at the unscheduled one-time lump sum, that's 7,200. And then annually, that 400 is going to be $4,800. That's going to be working in her favor. Okay. Make sense to everybody? Yay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's see what this structure would do for her.
Mm.
Let's look at her cash value here and her death benefit. This is a good death benefit. I feel like if she passed away, her daughter would be in a good place with this, because her daughter would be the beneficiary, obviously. And then this is what it would increase every single year that we fund it this way. So obviously in the very first year, she's going to have $29,000 immediately going into the policy with the lump sum and the PUAs and the premium, right? So that would be the total amount. Every year after, it drops to $22,000, because that's just going to be this $1,900 amount. Remember, only a one-time lump sum. So if you add that 7,200 to 22,276, 29,000. Makes sense, right? All right. So let's see. What is the total? If we add those three bottom numbers, the balance of the mortgage, the student loans, the credit card debt, what is that equal to? Anybody who's got a calculator? I told you all to bring a calculator. So $350,000 plus 16,000 plus 3,000. Let's see.
$369,000.
$369,000 that she wants to tackle before retirement. 369,000. And then remember, yes, this is the debt, but the first and foremost goal, most important goal for her is to fund her daughter's education first. Okay. So having said that, let's just say her daughter wants to go. When people tell me that they want to make sure that their children are taken care of for college, I always ask them, first question, super important, write this down. Do you want your child to go to a private school or a public school? Okay. This is college. I'm talking about college. Okay. So after high school. You know, the reason I ask that, you guys, is because a private school is going to be significantly more expensive than going to a community college or, you know, a public college. Make sense to everybody? So when they tell you, well, no, I want my daughter to go to Harvard. Okay, well, cool. Let's see what we can do. And let's see how much you have to fund this with so that we can make that a realization. So this can be a real goal, because if, you know, I tell them, okay, so in year 5, you've got $100 grand, that should cover everything. If she's going to Harvard for 4 years, I'm going to tell you right now, that's definitely not going to be an accurate number. Okay. You're lying to your client. So a private education, give or take, is going to be anywhere from 80,000 to about, let's just say 80 to 100,000 annually. Okay. Currently, remember, we're talking about present time. The child's 3 years old right now. So how many years do we have to work for this goal before the child goes to college? Let's just say the child will graduate at age 18, kind of like most of our children. And then, you know, we'll start college at the age of 19, you know, as an example. So if she's how old is she? So she's 3 years old now. So we have about
15.
We have about 15 years, give or take. Is this amount right here fair to say that this would cover her child's education for 4 years?
Yes.
I would say so. So I would say that in 15 years, we have enough money to fund her daughter's education. Now, that's if she doesn't touch it, right? Now, remember, we still have a goal. How old will our client be in 15 years? She'll be 46. Okay, perfect, right? So remember, this is going to go away, right? Because we're funding her daughter's education, maybe not in the first year, but she can pay her the 1 year first and then so on and so forth. So after 4 years in college, let's just say we have $369,000 to get to after that 400,000 so that she can pay off her home, her debt, and her home is relatively new. That's why it's still at 350,000. Okay. So remember, she still has additional money left over, telling me that if she continues to pay the way she's paying for her student loans, she's going to be done way before 15 years. Okay. So do we have other options? Absolutely. So the reason I'm saying that is because we can double this amount right here, the 403,000, and probably get her to that number much sooner by overfunding the policy.
Mhm.
Is this making sense to everybody? Remember, this is just for standard premium, right? This is just if she pays for premium of $1,900 every single month, this is the cash value that she will accumulate. Can she accumulate more? Absolutely. Okay. So if she's paying, So
Something to take into consideration will be the debt if she starts paying it off, correct?
I'm sorry, what was that?
The debt that she has, if she starts paying it off, because she's also giving payments outside of this. So if she starts paying off debt, she can open up more funds
Correct.
towards overfunding.
True, right. And then also remember, her salary leaves her a lot of money every single month, you guys. So she can start overfunding in the very beginning of when she opens this contract. And how do you know how much they have to overfund? Can anybody tell me that?
Yeah, it's 27,532. So you minus 7 pay premium, minus annual.
Correct. So this 7 pay premium is the amount that we have to overfund, including your premium. So if her annual premium is 22,000 every single year, that's what she's paying into the policy, right? 22,275. She can add additional money as long as we don't surpass 49,807. And this is in every illustration, in every contract that you make, it tells the client what the 7-pay premium amount is. And why is it important that we don't surpass it? Because if you pass it, let's just say she pays more than 49,807 that year. She paid 50,000. Guess what? She's going to get a knock on the door from Uncle Sam, and they're going to tax her because it's way overfunded. Okay. So in order to maintain a contract tax-free, we cannot surpass that 7-pay premium after their annual premium. Okay. So what could she pay into this contract if her annual is 22,275.85 and her 7-pay premium is 49,807? Can somebody tell me how much money can she dump into this?
27. Oh, my bad.
Just about $27,000. Okay, that's a lot of money. Does she have to? No, because she's made a hell of a lot of money already. She's funded it very well to begin with. Okay, just using the IUL. Remember, she came to me and said, hey, I have 70 grand in my 401k that I'm not happy with. Can I overfund with this? Sure you can. But remember, she's only 31 years old. Okay, so what does that tell you? If we take that money from her 401k, it's going to get taxed, right? It's going to get taxed how many times? Not one time, 2 times. One for the penalty for being younger than 59 and a half, okay? And then a standard tax for utilizing that 401k, okay? So she's going to get taxed 2 times. She's probably, her tax bracket, because she's a single parent, so that means she's head of household. And her income is $138,000. Let's see what her tax bracket would be at, and then we'll know exactly how much she would pay if she would take that cash value amount.
Maritza, I have a question.
Ma'am.
So let's say this year, 2024, she overfunds.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say she does it in November. And then we enter 2025
Mm-hmm.
and she wants to overfund again in February. Do
Mhm.
they count it as like 2024, 2025, or do they count it from like a year when she overfunded it?
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time, please.
So let's say she overfunds it in November 2024. Okay, and then we go into 2025. In February, she wants to overfund it again.
Mm-hmm.
Would she be able to?
So if she's doing okay, so let's just say it's based on the anniversary of the policy. So if she opens her policy this month, for example, in what is it, September, right? And she overfunds in January or October. Okay, so next month, right? She opened the policy this month, next month, she dumps in some, not the full amount, but some of it, maybe she does half of what she's able to do. And then in January, if she wants to overfund again, it's 2025, she absolutely can. Why? Because it's not based on the year, it's based on the anniversary year of the policy. So her 1-year anniversary is until next September. So yes, she can overfund as many times as she wants throughout the anniversary of the policy. And then she gets to start over next September. So September 2025 would be another year, a new year for her to start overfunding again if she wants.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense for everybody?
Yeah.
Awesome. So sorry, I'm looking for her tax bracket information. Well, anyways, I can't find it, but in the event that she wanted to do that, she absolutely can. And her tax bracket is probably going to be really high again because she's a single parent. So she's going to have to pay 10% just for taking the contract out. And then before being 58 and a half. And then she's going to probably have to pay an additional, if I'm not mistaken, about 26% based on what she's currently making annually. Maybe not, maybe 22%. So 22%. So if you're paying 33%, you guys, out of 70,000, what does that leave you every year? Or what does that leave you, rather, when you take out your money from your 401k? Somebody do the math on 33% minus 70,000.
46,900.
Exactly. So she's taking a huge huge chunk. Can we do it? Absolutely. We can certainly do it if that's what she wants. So, all right. So yeah, that's what would happen. That's how, can y'all see the screen again? I can't find my tax document, but whatever. So yeah, I have like a tax calculator where I can tell how much the client is going to pay based on whether, you know, it's a head of household, or if they're filing jointly based on their age and based on their combined income or just annual income. All right. So who can tell me what year she can pay everything off? You know, if she overfunds or if she doesn't overfund, what year would we be in the clear? If her debt for her home, her student loans, for credit card is $369,000 and we're funding her child's education, what year would you say she'd be in the clear to pay everything off? Anybody? Come on now. Sharina, I know you know this.
I'm gonna keep scrolling. There you go.
Mhm.
I think I've spoken too much. I'll let somebody else go for it.
22 to 23?
22 to 23 year?
53.
Like, yeah, she'd be like 53 to 54 years old.
Okay, so if she does not overfund the policy, I would say just probably in year 50, because remember, she's still paying her bills, you guys. She's still,
Oh, yeah.
you don't
that's
stop
true.
paying the bills. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because you're funding this, you don't stop. But I think she'd be retirement ready and happy in year 50. Everything is paid. Child's education, she's accumulated more money. This is without overfunding, right? This is just, you know, her paying her premium every single month. If she overfunds and we add additional money, even if she added half of the total amount that she could overfund with right here, okay, even if you just added half, she'd be in the clear way, way before. So let's go back to case design and see if we overfunded this, what it would look like for. Okay. So, and it's gonna mix, so don't freak out. That's not a big deal. We can always take that out. So let's just say she was adding an additional, what did we say was the total here? So let's say she was adding an additional 6,000, okay? So we're gonna add, so we're gonna say 13,000 every year. Okay, instead of hypothetically, give or take, we can always increase, decrease, but let's just say she wanted to overfund with half of that amount. Okay, so we're going to calculate just so we can see how much she's, you know, this money would make her. Even if it makes, we can take that off, we can adjust. Let's see, it's not even making yet. All right, so 13,000 every single year. So this would go up to 35,000. So she'd have 100 grand in 5 years. That to me is a hell of a deal. Yeah, so she's breaking even between year 8 and 9, ideally, which is great. Remember, we're illustrating at a 7%, super important to keep that in mind. And we're not taking into consideration the overfunding. Remember, this is part of the illustration, so it would look a little bit higher if she were overfunding on her own, at her own discretion. So this is just with an additional $6,000 dumped into the policy, okay, every year. Does she have to? No, because she's still making a lot of money, but it would get her towards like to her goal amount much, much faster. So let's look, let's go back and add. So how much did we say was the cash value? 7,200, correct? The pour-in, yeah. So let's see, first and foremost, she's making great money, right? But is she breaking even before year 10, you guys? Did anybody look at that?
Yeah, she's breaking even year 8. I mean year 9, sorry.
Yeah, between year 8 and 9. So that's perfect. Remember, the goal for any type of participating whole life is to break even before year 10, ideally between year 8 and 10. Okay. I mean, if you can break even before that, that's even better. So yeah, she does have the possibility to overfund and make a ton of money. And remember, we have to keep this in mind, you know, as I was telling Patty just now, just because we can fund her daughter's education by year 15 you know, she's in the clear, she's good to go. That doesn't mean that, because that's her main goal, but it doesn't mean that she's already, you know, she stopped paying her mortgage, she stopped paying her credit card, she stopped paying her student loans. No, absolutely not, because she has such a high salary that she's still continuing to pay this. So to me, what that tells me is, you know, maybe not, her mortgage won't be fully paid off because she's still paying interest. However, her child's education will be paid off, her student loans will be paid off, her credit card debt, because it's only 3,000, will be fully paid off based on what I know that she's currently paying. Does that make sense to everybody? So then after that, after her child's education is funded, guess what? This is all for her. This is all for retirement. So if she retires at 65, this is, if she continues to overfunding, remember, this is going to be a lot higher. And that to me looks like a solid number to be able to retire. Does everybody agree? Yeah, yay, nay? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So this to me would be perfectly funded.
Also to throw in, like you're saying, she's paying all these bills, but if she was to borrow against this, right, and prepay it, right, she would also pay off those debts quicker as well, where she doesn't have to have a payment to those things.
Mhm.
Is that right? Am I on the right track there?
I mean, yes. Her goal is not to borrow. Her goal is to make as much.
It's just okay, compounding.
Correct. So she can pay off. So the number one goal for her, she has a 3-year-old daughter. So her number one goal is to fund her daughter's education. And then of course, you know, when I interviewed her, I asked her, do you want your child to go to a public school or a private school for college? She said private school, you know, so I'm assuming private school is going to be anywhere from 80,000 to, you know, maybe $110,000. Somebody's coming back in to $110,000 annually. So let's just say it's $100,000, right? Like right in the middle, $100,000 per year for 4 years. That's 400,000. Her daughter has 15 years before she turns 18 and goes to college. And in 15 years, she's got exactly the amount that she needs to pay for that child's education. Okay, so to me, we're doing exactly what she wants. Remember, she still has money. She makes great money. So she still has money to pay off her bills at her own discretion, or she can get another policy just to pay for the mortgage, student loans, credit card debt for herself. This could just be to fund the daughter's education. There's so much we can do, you guys. And remember, she came to us and said, I have $70,000 in a 401k. I don't want to utilize it. I don't want to fund it anymore. What can I do? Like, can I utilize it? Yes, you can, but you're going to be heavily taxed because of your age and because of what you're currently making, right? Because of her tax bracket. So, I mean, different possibilities, but we can do multiple things with the money that she currently has. We were able to fund the daughter's education in 15 years fully from the IUL that she didn't want anymore, you know, or that we would recommend that she would jump into a guaranteed product because it's going to buy her more cash value, that $400 premium is. So yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a down payment with that IUL. She's got, you know, hypothetically $7,000 and perfect health, preferred non-tobacco. She's got a great death benefit. Let's see how much her death benefit is when she retires in 34 years. She'll have $3.3 million to leave to her daughter. So that's a great legacy in my opinion. So this to me is what I would present. Does anybody else have anything else to add or different opinion? Yes, no, y'all can
No,
speak.
it's
All
it's
right.
actually pretty good because, like you said, at first I was thinking like, hey, you know what, we can do a little bit better, and basically have her um break even,
Mhm.
between 7 and 8. But like you alluded to, and on the illustrate or the write up that she wants to overfund. So I think it's good. I mean, that death benefit is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
it's
she's able to
solid.
accomplish all her goals. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. And in the event, I mean, this is obviously in the event that she doesn't borrow. And again, remember that her goal is to fund her daughter's education, not to borrow, you know, within the next 5 years or 10 years. No, not at all.
right.
Oh,
F&A, my bad. I said a little write up.
it's all right. Okay, cool. So now let's go to the next one. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you all. This is going to be Mr. Robert Plant's goals. Let me see. All right. Sorry about that.
If I'm not mistaken, Maritza, can't you use your 401k also to fund your child's education at like no penalty?
No penalty. I don't know about no penalty. But
I
it's
think there's like limits if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I don't think it will be enough, especially since she wants to do private,
mhm.
but I think like if she would have gone maybe like a community college, I think it could have been like enough by the time that her daughter's that age.
Maybe, I don't know. You know, that's a great question. I don't know. I don't think that's correct. I think you still get penalized for utilizing your 401k. I think you can utilize it for that in the event after you're 58 and a half, but I don't know if it's penalty free before that.
Okay.
Yeah, so okay, everybody look at this one. This is Mr. Robert Plant, okay? His goals are to pay off his house before he retires, have enough cash value to retire, leave a legacy to his nephew after his death, okay? His date of birth is 7/31/1966. He's divorced, no children. Okay, he's from Texas. He's a music teacher, private music teacher. So he's self-employed and he's been doing that for 10 years. Prior to that, he used to be a public educator. So he's got a 401k sitting in an account that he does not fund, but when he did fund it, it was matched at 3%. So it's just stagnant. It's just there. 40 grand, okay? He has a 403B that he plans to use for retirement of 80,000. A savings account with about 40 grand, give or take, in there. And then he has a term policy that he's been paying for 4 years. I'm sorry about the background noise, you guys. So he's been paying it for 4 years, term policy, 2 million. He pays $450 a month for that, okay? His primary home is, current value is about $500,000. He has about $87,000 left. And then according to his mortgage contract, he's got 18 years left to pay it off. Okay. So remember, our goal is to pay off his house before he retires. So how old is he if he was born on 7/31/1966?
58.
53?
58.
58.
58, correct. Okay, perfect. So his current income is $102,000 annually. He does have a little rental property that he rents out from, excuse me? Oh, so yeah, he receives $1,000 from a garage apartment over his property that he rents out. So he's got that going for him. His retirement age goal is 70 because he loves what he does. He loves being a music teacher. He does well. His budget currently is $1,000. And he has no other debt. His fixed expenses are $350 for his car. Okay. His mortgage is $1,800 currently, and other stuff about $600. So what's the total for his fixed monthly cost? Can somebody tell me?
$3,250.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. And how much is he bringing home monthly if his annual salary is $102,000? Anybody? Nobody?
Going once, going twice. Come on, Patty.
8,500 is
Exactly.
his monthly.
85.
I'm trying, but I'm on my phone. So I'm
So-
going back and forth.
Okay,
Sorry.
awesome. So if he has no debt except his mortgage, he's currently paying for it, everything is current, he's receiving $1,000 from his little garage apartment, and his fixed expenses are $3,200 or $3,250. His take-home monthly is $8,500. Is it fair to say, I mean, would $1,000 be a reasonable amount to do towards a policy, in y'all's opinion?
I think we do a little bit more than that.
Yes, everybody thinks 1,000 is reasonable. I think so, right? He has plenty of money left over. 1,000 would be good, not to mention. So looking at his case, you guys, he's paying for a term, a $2 million term, which is, so death benefit is really important to him. Remember, he wants to leave a legacy to his nephew after his death. Okay, so super, super important that you remember that. Why? Because if we write him a policy and the death benefit goes from being 2 million in the term that we're telling him to cancel, and then we have a $100,000, remember, he's older, he's 58. And then, you know, all of a sudden we make him a policy and the death benefit is now $200,000. Guess what? He's probably gonna be like, are you insane? Why would I give up my term that I have for $2 million? You know, and, you know, versus like, that $200,000 that is not going to do anything for his nephew. That doesn't even cover the nephew's education. So fair enough.
Maritza, yeah, fair enough. Question, his term, he pays 150 or 450 a month?
450 a month for $2 million.
Okay.
And he's had it for 4 years.
Okay,
He's 6'2", 200 pounds, which is good. That's a preferred non-tobacco in my opinion. He doesn't take any medication. So let's go to the illustration. Everybody good with this? Everybody wrote this down? Yes?
yes.
Awesome. All right, and if y'all have questions, feel free to just ask me. I'm not looking at the chat. All right. Can everybody see the screen? Perfect. All right, so looking at this case, what would you guys do? So we can get Mr. Plant to his goal of 80, what is it, 800 or $87,000 to pay off that mortgage as soon as possible, leave a legacy to his nephew, and have enough money in this product to retire at 70. So if he's 58 right now and he wants to retire at 70, how many years do we have to make this work?
12.
Well, we have 12 years to play around with, right? To make sure we overfund this, to make sure we make this happen for him. See if we can do it. Because remember, the older you are, the more expensive life insurance is. You know,
I also have a question. So, because I'm thinking, yes, $1,000 is reasonable, but if we were gonna have him cancel his term, we could round up to 1,500 a month
maybe.
if he was to cancel his term.
Do y'all agree with Sharina?
As long as the death benefit
Yeah.
matches. But I'm just thinking because of his age,
There's different
Thank you.
ways.
thinking
Yeah,
of
no.
his age, taken into account because insurance is expensive.
Yeah, you're on the right track. I mean, there's two different ways we can do it. We can throw it in PUAs or we can add it. So, yeah.
Okay, that's all good. Yeah, absolutely. So this is what I would recommend. I would recommend that he get rid of that term immediately because he's got
6 years left.
6 years left on it. And then guess what? He can kiss that money goodbye. So if you're paying, let's see, if you're paying $450 a month, how much would you be paying annually? That's $5,400 annually.
Mhm.
Okay, annually. And if he's got 6 years left, that's $32,000 that he can put into a product that's going to build him money. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's 32,000 in 6 years, you guys. Okay, so $32,000 is a lot of money to throw away. Would you guys agree? Lots and lots of
Yeah.
money. So that's exactly what I would do. I would go ahead and tell him to cancel the policy now. However, having said that, remember, life insurance is really expensive for a 58-year-old. You know, if he's currently paying it towards this, we're going to try to make it where we have the same death benefit because remember, he wants that legacy for his nephew. And then he wants to retire as well. And we got to get him the cash value, right? Pay off the mortgage. So, all right. So let's just say, so we're going to cancel that term. And then, let's see, we've got 1,500 or 1,450. Okay, monthly. We're gonna do it monthly so y'all can see the numbers. And of course, we're gonna add our paid up additions. Okay, we're gonna choose the STP because that's the better one. And then what amount would you guys put here? What else could we do with what he currently has? So,
Well, you're not even touching his actual income at all. This is just $1,000 rental income, right, that he's using, and then the term $450. So we can maybe pull a bit of his income monthly.
so that's a good thought. So my thought is, I'm looking at his funds right now, and I'm looking at that $40,000 he has in savings.
Mm-hmm. That's
So-
where I was.
Yep. What do we do? What is that savings account or basic savings account doing for him? Absolutely nothing. It's
Mhm.
gonna be less than 1%, maybe 2, and if it's a miracle. So what can we do? So we're gonna try to overfund with that, okay? So that way it's not too heavy on him. I mean, that's 1,400. I know his budget was 1,000, so I'm not gonna say, hey, you know what, let's just utilize all of your savings to dump in here. No, I'm not gonna go that crazy yet, unless I can't get to his goal, okay? So 1,450, what is that equal to on an annual basis? That's $17,000. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a lump sum amount.
Well,
He's got 40K, not doing anything for him, of 10,000. Just taking a little bit from his savings, not too much, nothing too crazy, okay? And then what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm going to, instead of doing 1,450, I'm gonna go ahead and add that 450 here.
Mhm.
See? And then I'm gonna do a standard solid $1,000 premium. So we're splitting it up, right? Does this make sense for everybody? Oops. not too-
Yeah.
Okay, so we're splitting it. Remember, we always split the premium that we have to work with, okay? So let's see how much we can make for him. So not annual, this is gonna be monthly, because that's what he was paying into the term, that useless term that's gonna expire, and he can kiss that money goodbye. So let's go to riders and features and add all the free stuff that we get. Let's see what we can do for Mr. Plant.
I have to say it. I love his name.
I know, Robert Plant is the lead singer for Led Zeppelin. So it makes red flag, okay? So it's too much money. I'm adding way too much money, so we gotta go back and fix it, all right? We don't want it to be a taxable amount ever. So, let's see. So $40,000, how many years did y'all say we had for him to get to his
12.
goals? 2 years, right? So, let's see. Let me see, let me think. What do y'all think we should do? Should we divide that 40,000 in the 12 years that he's doing this? Would you all do that? Or would you do a lump that can start growing way faster?
I would put more lump sum. I was thinking about 25 to 30.
Jesus.
I was thinking of breaking it up
Mhm.
to see what that would look like if he was to break it up. Maybe less years, like maybe half the years, like by 6 years versus 12 to show him.
All right, so let's do this. Let's see. Look at his death benefit. Do you think he's gonna be happy with it?
Mhm.
No.
No.
Remember, the goal is for a legacy for the child. If I'm telling him to quit that $2 million term, I have to get close to that. I have to, you know what I'm saying? Like I have to provide him a better number that's gonna grow and eventually get to that place, you know? So let's go back. We're gonna do policy design. We're gonna add some terms to this. Let's see how much it costs and if it makes sense. It may not make sense, you guys. So I haven't done this illustration, but we're doing it together. So rule is always, if you're going to add term to any policy, how many years do we do it for, Sharina?
7 years.
7 years, no more than that. Why? Because if you add more than 7 years in term to any type of whole life, it doesn't break even before year 10, okay? So now we're gonna do the base policy premium because we have an idea and the total death benefit. So let's just say let's do $1 million for Mr. Plant. Let's see how much that would cost him in term, okay? Let's see if it even makes sense. Then we'll know how we can move the money. We're still at $1,000 in base. We still have $450, okay, in PUA from the other policy, from the term that he was paying for. And then we still have an additional 10,000 to dump in. So let's calculate that. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see if it even works. Jesus, it's almost time, you guys. Okay, this is what he's paying for a 1-year term. Is that too much?
A lot.
That's a lot. Why would I tell somebody, you know, let's look at the cash value though. Why would I tell somebody to cancel what they currently have for 2 million? And then for 7 years, and then it's gonna drop back to 397,000.
That's
Okay.
terrible.
Absolutely. Absolutely terrible. So I don't like it. Do you guys like it? I don't like it.
I don't like it.
Right. So no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go back. Not a good idea. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna scratch this off. We're not gonna add, he's too old for us to add term. Not too old, but you know, term, like any insurance, gets more and more expensive as you age. And because he's not a spring chicken, you know, we gotta take that into consideration. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna scratch
I was
this.
gonna say, I was gonna split that.
So we're gonna do 250 annually, which is what we always do. And then we're gonna add his $1,400 up here. And then let's calculate that and see how much more that would do for us. We still have that $10,000 PUA payment in there. Can we do more? Yes, but we're still gonna have to add, some type of term. Okay, so this much better, right? Much better death benefit here. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's 1,400. That's with what he's currently paying. Now, remember, he does have a savings account that's just sitting there. What does $40,000 in savings give you if you divide that amongst 12 years? So what does it give you? So we have 40,000 divided by 12 years. How much is that? That's
3333.
3,333. And if you divide that by 12, how much does that give you for 12 months?
277.
$277. Okay, so we're gonna do $3,000 every single year in overfunding. Let's go back. So hypothetically, you guys, we can add an additional $277 to his premium here, okay? From what he currently has in savings. But if we did that, we can't do a lump sum. Would you guys recommend that we do that?
We can always see what it looked like.
The only thing that I'm thinking that you included the 450 to cancel that term,
Mhm.
but are we up to par with the death benefit that's feasible?
Not yet. No, not yet. We're still working it. Okay. Because his death benefit is only $407. But if I add $277, let's see. So 1677. Okay, we're gonna take this off because we're utilizing what he has in savings in his savings account for the next, how many years? For the next 12 years, okay? So let's see, this is not gonna work. Let's see. It might work for the death benefit, but it's not gonna work. It's almost time, you guys. We're gonna have to stop this one. So it max in year 37, which is good. It's 1697, which is not bad. He's making good cash value, but he doesn't have the death benefit he wants. So what would we do? What can we do?
We
What
have
do-
to add more lump sum, right?
What would you guys recommend?
I would add another 10,000. I don't know.
So we're gonna keep it at 400. Okay. Or, yeah, what was it?
Oh, we took that out. Never mind.
$450, not 477. 450 because he was paying 450 for the term, and we definitely want to get rid of the term. Okay. So we're gonna add 250 in an annual amount, and then we're gonna do no. Or we can add. Let's do that. 450, we're gonna add $1,000. for 3 years, annual or monthly. No, not 3 years, annually. So we're gonna schedule it for 3 years, okay? How many, $40,000 divided by 1,000, how many months can you pay that? $40,000.
40 months. You said 40,000?
So you can
40
pay,
months.
so you can pay $1,000 for 3.5 years, okay? Right, for 3 years. We're gonna do 1 to 3, and then we're gonna do the standard $250 after that from year 4 to max. Okay, because this is, we're taking that 1,000 from his savings, okay, every year to overfund. See what we can do. Let's see if it even works. Remember, we're not doing a lump sum anymore. We're just dumping in annually $1,000. What do y'all think? Does it work? Yes, no? Anybody? Opinions, questions, comments, concerns?
We
Nope.
still have to tackle the death benefit part.
We're not there, and he hasn't breaking even.
Yep,
He's not breaking even either before year 10.
exactly. So let's do this. We're gonna have to add term no matter what. He's gonna have to pay for it. Right? Or we can't cancel the term that he currently has and keep him happy with that. But what do y'all recommend? What is the fastest way to get to where he wants?
Lump sum.
How much money can
He would need to add some to the base premium ultimately, because that's what purchases his death benefit. So ultimately he's gonna have to add to his base premium.
So in my opinion, right, so how much money does he have left over if he's paying $1,400? And his income is $8,500 a month. His income is $8,500 a month and his expenses are $3,250.
32, hold on, let me.
That's
let me
5,000.
make
He has a 5,000.
250, right? So if he wants to utilize, he's already paying 400, so that's already taken into consideration. So if he wants to utilize $1,000 a month to dump into this, so 5,250 minus 1,000 equals 4,250. So can he add more money to the base premium and still be okay? Yes, because he's receiving
Yes.
$1,000 from his rental, right? So
Yes.
so I would suggest that we add $2,000. Okay. And then remember, this is not touching a savings account, and then still add a pour-in. We're gonna do 250, which is the standard here. And then we're still gonna add a pour-in of $10,000 from his savings account that has nothing to do with, you know, him being okay or not. So this still leaves him in a good place. Okay, he still has $3,200 to $3,200 or $3,250 every month to do whatever he wants with, right? This is with all his bills paid. So let's calculate that.
And we could also if we did have a client like this, we could remind him this is gonna be one machine, whereas housing everything.
All right. Okay, so it's not breaking even yet. So can we add more money? Absolutely.
I have a question. I don't know if this makes sense. So his term ends in 4 years. Can we just do something with those 450 in 4 years and start putting that money in there, or
Yeah,
no?
but so his term ends in 6 years because he's only been paying it for 4 years. It's a 10-year. So in 6 years, guess what? He's not going to be, how old is he going to be in 6 years, you guys? If he's 58 right now,
64? No. Yes.
so
62.
now his term is going to be way, way, way more expensive. Okay. So here's what we can do. If you look at this, and if you look at the 7-pay premium, it's $57,792. His annual is $28,000. Okay. He's 58 years old. How much longer does he have until he can utilize that 401k money that he currently has?
18 months.
Okay. 18 months without it being heavily taxed. So can he overfund with that 401k money and put it into here? Absolutely. Look at the amount annual versus the 7-pay premium. So if you tell him, let's see, it's 57,000 792 minus 28,793. That's $28,000 that he can dump into this policy every single year. That's a lot of money. So does he have it? Yes, he has it in savings and he has it in a 401k. If he overfunded this policy, I can guarantee you, I mean, I can't say guarantee because it's illegal, but it would look much better in his favor. Not only would he get to the death benefit that he wants much faster, but he would also build a ton of cash value to be able to pay for that house. I mean, he can pay for that house. If he overfunds the way he can pay for that house way, way faster. Okay, so, okay, I've got to stop this now. But this, in my opinion, would be the best case scenario. We go higher in the premium amount, the base premium, because he has the funds to do so. And then I would ask him to overfund because he has a savings account that's not, you know, it's just hanging out. It's just sitting there. Does everybody agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, I
And
agree.
even if he was to worry about the 2 million going to 1 million,
I'm sorry.
there's even if, sorry if you can't hear me, even if he was worried about like his 2 million term, we can also focus that he's paying into something that doesn't give him an actual return unless he's gone.
Exactly. Not to mention in
So if
6
he has an issue,
he can kiss that $2 million goodbye, right? Like that $2 million is going to be gone along with his premiums that he paid into it, which was what, $32,000 and change or some amount like that. So yeah, absolutely. That's super important. Also, remember, every time he overfunds this policy, you guys, it's going to increase the death benefit as well, right? Not only is your cash value working for you, remember, cash value on top of cash value, compound interest. Because remember, so if he just pays this amount with what he currently has, he'll be okay. But he still has an additional, and remember, we put $10,000 down, but he still has an additional $30,000 plus, you know, whatever he gets from his 401k amount. Okay, so he's got plenty of money. He's got that rental income as well. You know, so can we do a lot? Yes. And remember, you know, over time, he's probably going to pay off, you know, that car payment and so on and so forth. So, you know, so it works. I mean, this is exactly how I would do it. He's making a ton of money. Can we revisit it in the next 5 years and see where he's at? Absolutely. You know, and again, remember, this is without him overfunding. If he overfunds, it's going to double the amount that he has in cash value. Does that make sense for everybody?
Yes, and I just want to say at the end of the day, because a lot of people want us to like do miracles, right? So at the end of the day, you kind of have to show him based on what he wants. This is what it takes to get to what you want and, you know, your goals. So you can always show closer to his budget to see what that gets him. And then also, but you want more death benefit, you want to pay off your house, you want to do this. This is kind of what it takes to do that.
Right. Well, we already saw that based on his $1,000 budget. But remember, you have to be very forthcoming with clients, you guys, especially with people over the age of 55, because life insurance gets much more expensive after that age, especially not to mention the age of 60. Once you're at 60, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Thus, you have to overfund without a doubt, and you have to be willing to pay, you know, to pay some hefty dollars because, I mean, A, you're starting late, you know, you're almost at retirement age, and B, I mean, we have to be realistic about what it is that you want to do in that amount of time. Okay. So can he pay off his mortgage before he retires? Absolutely. Yeah. He can pay off that $80,000 or $87,000 that he has left. It's still growing. This is without him overfunding. You know, was it the budget that he wanted? No, but we have to be realistic, right? I mean, was it the death benefit that he originally wants? No, but if he overfunds, he's going to get a lot closer to that. I mean, you know, getting closer to $1 million, if you start overfunding, he has a lot of room to overfund, remember. So if he begins to overfund, he's going to be in a very, very good place, in my opinion. You know, does his nephew need $2 million? Probably not. I mean, he could probably be okay with 1,500. If that's exactly what he wants, then we have to add term, but he has to pay for it. You know, it's going to eat up at his cash value. Okay. Is everybody okay with that? Is everybody good? Is everybody happy? Does everybody understand what we have to do to make these work? Yes. Okay. I'm going to stop the recording now. And then